Welcome back to the channel, guys. I am back off my October project, and it's time to paint a Dark Angel's Hellblaster. The first founding is a project I'm doing in which I paint one of each of the loyalists. Hey, these guys are loyalists, right? Oh, okay. One of each of the loyalist first founding chapters. Preparation's the name of the game. I've been trying to paint these guys in an hour and a half, and I found that the only way that works is if I actually have everything laid out and ready to go. So the camera's prepped, the paints are out, and I got my music. Let's get into it. I'm going to start this out as I start most of my models. Stynylrez Res black primer, and then I'm going to add some white ink into it and start building up a gradient all the way to white up top. It was really fun to try something new again. This series has gotten me outside my box and I've really been enjoying it. After that's done, I'm going to grab my camo green, come in and put a nice flat thin coat down, add a little bit of yellow, and do some highlighting. For this weapon, the only thing to make it stand out the way it really needs to is to put red on there. It contrasts against that green really nicely. Moving on, I'm grabbing my black and I'm coming in to do the pistol, the pouches, and all the joints. Next up, I'm grabbing my silver. That's going on the gun, the chest eagle, and on the backpack. This is really going to help with that bright dark contrast. Eventually this armor is going to be dark, and I want that bright silver to just stand out against it. Starting to put some white on that knee pad. I'll show you where I'm headed with that towards the end. In order to get my initial highlights on the black, I'm mixing my bold titanium white with coal black to get a nice medium gray. Then I'll come in later on with a little more selective white highlight. And here's that salamander that I'm trying not to get too close to in color. Using some of my highlight mix that I shot through the airbrush earlier, I'll color in the shoulder trim. And I may not like GW pots, but they've got the best feeling the first time you open them. So I'll get this wash on there, and then I'm going to come in with my green and clean up all the flat panels. I want to avoid any coffee staining or edges. Then, it's on to the eyes. Once again, the faces and the weapons should pop, so I'm going back to red, because that's really going to make those lenses stand out. After that, I'm grabbing my yellow and coming in to edge highlight the armor. I don't want it to go to white, because I just feel like that's going to be a little bit too extreme. Here we go with the freehand. I've never done freehand for Dark Angels. When I was looking at it, I felt like there were three distinct areas. You had the sword right in the center, and then a wing on each side. So I broke that down into a vertical slash for the sword, filling out the blade, creating the crossguard, and then the pommel. Then for the wings, I went ahead and put my horizontal lines at the top. That does me a favor and defines the upper surface. Then I'm creating lines vertically parallel to the sword, and I'm making a nice wide sweep down. I'm not going to bother painting in the feathers. I'm just going to use green like here and cut those lines back in, creating those independent feathers. To me, this is by far much easier than trying to paint each feather in white and then fix any mistakes later on. Back over to the weapon to give it that extra little treatment. I'm going to mix in some yellow to the red that I used to get a nice orange. That's going on all the upper areas, especially these rounded surfaces up near the front of the gun. Helps create dimension when you're looking at it, and it draws your eye towards it. Then I'm going to grab my white, paint all these coils, and get prepped for some cheap OSL. But before I can go back to the airbrush, I need to finish up with my brush. So I'm doing my scratches, just a white line, and then a black line on the upper surface to create the illusion of a shadow. And with only a couple minutes left, the next thing I really wanted to get to was to quarter out the knee pad. It's a really nice look that lends a little bit of visual interest to the lower half of the model, but doesn't steal the show. A little bit of really thin down blue in the airbrush, working from the outside of those coils in towards the center. And then swapping to bold titanium white and spraying that just in the center. 1 hour 30 minutes. Hack. For my first Dark Angel, I'm pretty happy with it. There's obviously stuff that could be tidied up, done a little bit better, but it was a learning experience for me, and I gotta try something new. 4 down, 5 to go. Let's see what's coming up next. Well, looks like I'm learning to paint Raven Guard. I am pretty tempted to use one of my Inceptors for this. We'll see. I'm not sure if I got enough, but if I got an extra one, I'll probably use that. And once again, if you want to know when that one comes out, go ahead and hit that subscribe. If you liked this video, leave me a like. I really appreciate it. If you got any questions, leave them down below. Thanks for hanging out with me and let me share your day. I will see you guys in the next one.